worth the investment of the money, but that's not even the time and the return that you'll get for yourself it'll pay for itself pretty quickly. My name is Elatia Abate. I am a futurist. I'm an entrepreneur. I am an educator. And the core of my work is really focused on helping organizations and the people who lead them make sense of the disruption that's happening in the world and turn these things that are outer edge trends into tangible results. For me, 90DP was a part of my strategy to pivot my business. So prior to the pandemic, my delivery model was 98% in person. So my revenue streams were 98% in person. And clearly that switched. That combined with a research project that I did during the pandemic had me really understanding that what people, leaders, organizations needed in the face of what is continuing and ongoing disruption and will be increased in the coming months, years, and decades, that folks really needed a tool or a series of tools to help them thrive in the face of all of this and to actually take and channel the disruption into something useful. And so I use 90-Day Pipeline to help me create and solidify an offering for the marketplace, which answers all of those needs. And it's called Regenerative Resilience. And through the clarity and through the support of people like Margie and Ahmed and Kat and everybody on the team, got clarity not only about what I was offering, but how to communicate about that more effectively in the marketplace so that the folks who need it understand what problems it can solve, and why they will be better off with what I have to offer than without it. The most impactful part of 90-Day Pipeline for me has to do with language and positioning. So I am somebody I am a content creator by nature. It is fun for me. It's easy for me. And though the obviousness of a market fit in my mind doesn't always match with what my listener or my potential customer would they can't read my mind. and so learning how to and understanding how to position what I'm offering in a way that meets identified needs of the customer was crucial for me. So before 90-Day Pipeline, I, like so many other folks in the marketplace, it seems, had a pretty unpredictable revenue cycle. So I would book business, I'd focus on delivering that business, and then all of a sudden, where's my pipeline? And so there was that predictable. What was predictable was the scramble to again find more clients and sort of move through that. And with 90-Day Pipeline and the clarity about what I'm offering to market, how to position it, and then even more importantly than that, sort of once that's done, ensuring that there is consistency in communicating with the marketplace is helping me ensure that I have a solid ongoing pipeline. And I have just booked the largest month of business for myself since I started as an entrepreneur several years ago. My ability to communicate about what I do with prospects before 90DP was much more theoretical. So I'm a strong communicator, and though in my mind, as I have ideas or as I understand what's happening with the future, it's an obvious connection for me between what's happening out here and a business need that somebody might have. It is not obvious. I have learned, and thanks to 90-Day Pipeline, like it is not obvious to the people who you're trying to serve until you tell them. And so 90-Day Pipeline has really helped me communicate clearly and so what? So what is this helping me? Regenerative resilience, it helps leaders thrive in the face of great uncertainty. But okay, what does that actually mean? Reduce burnout, reduce attrition, decrease recruitment costs, all of these things that matter to top and bottom line of business. That's what it really breaks down to. And that's what's helped me increase sales. Well, it felt awesome. I mean, it felt amazing to create the results mechanism. And what had been missing before that the 90-Day Pipeline really helped me work through was who my target audience is and understanding. For me, there's a slight differential between who is participating and who is purchasing, and the offering that I'm bringing to market. And so understanding and being able to clearly communicate the difference and distinction between those two, and then speak into the language of those who are doing the purchasing, was a huge help in creating that results mechanism. For working with 90DP, my LinkedIn presence was strong. However, it was solely educational and informative. And while that might not seem like a bad thing on the surface, what it was not was a lead generator. And since I was spending so much time, and I'm talking about like creating live videos every day. So since I was spending so much time there, having it not be a return on investment was not good for business. And so in working with 90-day pipeline, understanding how to, with the same educational content, but how to present it and frame it in a way that gets potential buyers interested, was a game changer, has been and continues to be a game changer. Let's see, probably, okay, so for the LinkedIn transition, two things in particular have been incredibly useful working with 90-day pipeline. The first one is, again, it's crafting messages that capture people's attention right at the beginning, like, why should you care about this? Or why is everything that you ever thought about the thing you think you know wrong? And so something that gets folks interested in and engaged in what it is that you're talking about. So that's the first piece. And the second piece, which I'm still improving, but was really not so good at it before, was a call to action, an invitation for people to get into conversation with you, share, communicate, whatever that call to action is. Because of my bias toward solely educating, that wasn't something that was a part of my repertoire until I joined 90-day pipeline. Engaged and engaging. I see my numbers of engagement on posts have gone from, we'll call it on a good day, a couple of hundred, to pretty steadily close to 1,000 or 1,100 or 1,200 on a fairly frequent basis, which, if you want to call that like a 50, 60, 70% increase in engagement, that's really strong. And then again, from what I'm seeing commercially from that, it's shifting the tide. However, because of the consistent presence talking about regenerative resilience, doing the Million Women campaign launch and those things, that's what has had not only an increased interest in regenerative resilience just as the results mechanism, but even in me increase interest in my speaking business or outreach to me to do some pretty interesting things. Don't know where I would be with my business today if I hadn't invested in 90-day pipeline. I was, with everything that had happened with the pandemic and with the questions that I had about what I wanted to do next with my business, I probably would have been flopping around like a fish, out of water. It really very quickly helped me consolidate my vision, get the focus that I needed, because again, one of the great things about what I do in the world is that I'm an idea generating machine. One of the challenging things about that is that there's always a new one that pops up. And so 90-day pipeline has helped me focus. And then as I have moved from 90-day pipeline through to MoMA, and then now through to Operation Scale, which is where I'm sitting at the moment, really hone in on delivering on the thing that I'm focused on delivering. And that for me is another game changer. If you could have done it by yourself, you would have already done it by now. If you're interested in a program like 90-day pipeline, you're probably pretty committed, motivated, wanting to create something of value for yourself and for other people. That's sort of like a pre-qualifier, which means if you had been capable of doing it yourself, it would have already been done. So just do it. It's worth worth the investment of the money, but that's not even the time and the return that you'll get for yourself it'll pay for itself pretty quickly.